paint, or if the defense collapses, you kick it out. And now you're asking Rajon Rondo, or when Lonzo Ball's healthy, to shoot a three, or Brandon Ingram, who doesn't shoot at all. It's like we talked about Ben Simmons, who doesn't shoot, but Brandon Ingram's almost as bad. It's just he's not considered on the same level as Simmons, so maybe that's why we don't talk about it as much. But we see this, and they lost their best three-point shooter from last year, and it's sad to say the three-point shooter from last year was Brook Lopez, a 7-footer. And Splash Mountain is definitely a threat from the outside. Ask the Milwaukee Bucks. He's definitely been a solid contributor, but when your best three-point shooter was a 7-footer who also can't really rebound super well, and then you bring in LeBron and no one else, got some issues.
What is one playoff matchup? If the playoffs started right now, what is one matchup that you would be excited for?
Let's see here. Looking at the current standings, Houston and Utah would be very fun, but I also think OKC and Portland. I mean, the 3-6 and 4-5 right now would be very fun. I think Houston and Utah could be a very fun series. Donovan Mitchell playing James Harden every night. That would be so fun. We've seen James Harden have an incredible year. He's averaging like 36 a game. He's outpacing the league scoring by far. It's crazy.
And I'm going to take it to the East. I would love to see Philadelphia and Boston go at it for 7 games.
Fun. That's the only thing that worries about me is while the Pacers have played well without Oladipo, I don't know if they're going to hold that 3. And if they were to drop to the 4-5, you're going to see the 76ers or Celtics probably take that 3, and they're going to get the Pacers versus either Philly or Boston. So, I'm cheering for the Pacers. They play really well. They lost Oladipo. I don't think they're a championship team without Oladipo. But I am worried that they don't stay there. But, yeah, you're right. I think the 76ers and Celtics would be a very fun matchup. But we might have to wait for the second round. But if everything held through that way, then you might get Milwaukee, Boston, and Toronto, Philly, which also could be very fun.
Oh, yeah. Greek freak, baby.
Yeah. Definitely an interesting playoff picture. But here's the thing, Justin, I have a question for you, see if you know this. What is just a common thread, quality of a team to be a championship team? What is something like a bunch of analytics tell you that a championship team needs in the NBA?
All right, you ready for this? For the team to be an NBA championship contender, they would have to be in the top 10 in offense and defense.
Yes, and it's because I told him the answer before the podcast that he knew that.
Exactly.
Guys. But yes, very common that a team that wins the NBA championship is considered top 10 offensively and defensively in terms of efficiency. And that's very true. Last year, of course, the Warriors were 11th defensively, but they were 1 offensively. So they did still pretty much fit that criteria. But if you look back a long time, most teams fit that in terms of championship contenders. If you look at teams this year, NBA.com, NBA stats, their efficiency only has 4 teams that fit that category this year. Justin, do you know those 4 teams on the NBA?
I'm going to say Denver, Boston, Houston.
Who's the 4th? Do you know the 4th one is?
Hold on.
Okay, now he's cheating, so I'm going to go ahead and tell. Well, it's not Houston, but Denver and Boston were on the list, but the Milwaukee Bucks and the Toronto Raptors. The Golden State Warriors have completely fallen off defense this year. They are ranked 16th on NBA.com. Even Basketball Reference has them 16th. To give you the rankings of the NBA, the Bucks are currently 3rd offensively efficiency, 1st defensive. Nuggets are 4th offense, 10th in defense. Raptors 6 and 8. And the Celtics are creeping up in offense, just got to the 10th part, and are number 4 defensively. And then, of course, Basketball Reference, to give you some more, they only have the Bucks and Raptors in the top 10, which the Bucks at 5 offensively and 1st defensively still. So very clearly considered the best defensive team in terms of efficiency this year. And the Raptors are 7th in both. So according to this, we only really have 2 to 4 championship contenders, and the Warriors aren't there. Now, I would still throw the Warriors out of the championship contender. I'm not going to pick the Warriors, pick against the Warriors in the playoffs.
Hot take. The Warriors are not going to win it this year.
This is an interesting subject, kind of a little off where I was going to go here, but it's kind of like we've gotten to the point with the Warriors in the last 4 years. They've won 3. You could argue they should have won 4 in a row other than a Kyrie incredible three-pointer. It's like back in the day when Tiger Woods was at the height of his powers in golf. You had betting lines. It was Tiger of the field. It's almost like the Warriors of the field now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you don't talk about like who teams like can anybody beat the Warriors, and I think it's good for basketball that you have a team like this that they're likable, but at the same time they're also villains to some people. It's kind of interesting because I don't hear many people talk too bad about Steph Curry. You know, other people maybe discouraging his skill set, like thinking he's not as good, but most people think he's a likable person. Of course, Kevin Durant and DeMarcus Cousins and Draymond Green, you know, they fill in that villain role. So I think they are. I think this could be the year. You could see them upset, but I would still think they made the finals. I think if somebody were to beat the Warriors this year, it'd be from the East. I think the Raptors have the best chance. I don't know about you, but I think the Warriors do make it out of the West, even though the West is probably better.
Boston.
Yeah, Boston's definitely, and that's the start of the year. We thought Boston would be a lot better, and they have played better recently. I think they've won their last 4 games, but we've just seen a lot of issues from Boston this year, just playing like individuals. It seems like instead of a team, and the Kyrie drama, of course. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Who knows? But the Celtics are 5th currently in the East, trending up. And I don't know. I mean, if the Celtics figure it out, they have almost as much talent as anybody in the NBA other than Golden State. If not, maybe you can argue they are close to Golden State. I don't think they are, but I think they might be the closest in terms of talent, but chemistry is an issue there.
Absolutely.
And the reason I would say any team out west, like if I were to pick a team out west that could beat the Warriors, I would love to say the Nuggets because they've had a great year. I just think they're too young. I don't think this is the year. I think Denver needs another year or two. I don't think Houston can be. I actually would say the Thunder. I think the Thunder could do it. I mean, it's crazy to think about, but I think Paul George is he can win the MVP and Most Improved Player award. Brian Windhorst said the other day, which is crazy, but he can guard Kevin Durant. And you mean I guarantee you Russell Westbrook can guard Steph Curry, and I guarantee you Russell Westbrook would want to win that game. That series against Golden State, he would love to get his shot at Kevin Durant in a 7-game series. So
but who can guard Klay Thompson? Nobody.
That's the issue.
Because he's the best shooter in the NBA.
Can Ferguson do it? I mean, Ferguson showed a lot of signs. He's played good defense sometimes, and there's days where like maybe you don't want him on the court. So, but he's a lot more good than bad lately. But I think the Thunder have a good shot. I know you said Houston. I think the Thunder have a great shot. I think Russell Westbrook. The only thing that worries me about his is efficiency. And there's times where he sometimes takes too many shots, but when he's deferring to Paul George and and it's not saying he can't be the lead guy, the alpha dog in all games. It's just sometimes he overdoes it and he shoots way too much, and it kind of hurts the team.
I think both of those players have found their spots on the team.
I think they complement each other really well.
Yeah.
Maybe better than Westbrook and Durant did. And I'm not saying Paul George is Durant level. I think Paul George is an elite player. He's Kevin Durant. Top 3 player in the NBA, top 2 maybe. We can argue if Anthony Davis is 2 or 3 later. I know you said, I think you think KD's 2, but I think Paul George could guard Kevin Durant. I think he could give Durant fits. But of course, I don't think really why I picked the Thunder. I think the team that has the best chance is the Raptors. And it would come down to the Raptors and Bucks, obviously. The only thing that worries me about the Bucks is they're young. They just signed Pau Gasol, which gives them playoff experience, and he has more playoff games, I think, than their entire roster combined. But the Greek Freak is a pretty good player.
Absolutely. I think last year the playoffs was kind of boring. You kind of knew who was going to win the whole time.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be Warriors, Cavs the whole way through, so I think it's good for basketball. Maybe while LeBron is struggling, that we knew we were getting Warriors, Cavs.
Absolutely.
So, kind of disappointing, not that interesting at times. We were just waiting for the finals, and then the finals ended up being kind of boring as well. Other than the J.R. Smith fiasco, of course. But the reason I'll tell you, the reason I think the Raptors are the team that could beat the Warriors this year is I think they have the experience necessary, and I think Kawhi is the difference maker. Kawhi Leonard is healthy, the best 2-way player in the league.
Absolutely.
He can shut down Kevin Durant as well as you can shut down Kevin Durant. I'm not saying Kevin Durant's not going to score, but
right.
If anyone can guard Kevin Durant,
it's
Kawhi Leonard because we've seen him guard LeBron at the height of his powers. And he can slow KD down. And now I think Lowry can guard Steph well enough. Now the Warriors do seem to be better when Steph is the lead guy at times, but I think the Raptors have what it takes. And Kawhi Leonard, not only is he the best 2-way player, he's done it before. He's a Finals MVP. He won it with the Spurs. He's done it before, and I think that's why I like them more than the Bucks. Is that fact that they have a guy who's done it. And while Kawhi isn't very vocal, obviously he doesn't like to talk. He has the creepiest laugh in the NBA.
He's definitely a leader.
But you don't always have to be very vocal to be a leader. You can be that guy who just leads by example. And I think Kawhi just goes out and he just wants to play basketball. And if he's healthy, I think that could be the difference maker. I mean, maybe the Celtics if they get everything right, but I think the Raptors have the best shot. I think you think Houston. I have the Toronto Raptors. It's the best team. I think the Raptors could legit win the series this year. Win almost the World Series, but the NBA championship. So, you disagree with that? Not at all? Well, that's all we got time for today. Thank you to producer Bill, producer Jarrett, whatever you want to call him, I'm not sure, for helping us out, fixing the technical difficulty. Thank you to Thomas Watts for the music. Thank you to everybody else. Oh, and by the way, congrats to JJ. He passed his prize exam. He might be a teacher one day.
Let's go!
That's all we have time for. Thanks for listening, guys.